Who's there?
Shut the fuck up.
Oh.
Welcome to the Dr. DC podcast. My name is Colin, and next to me is the doctor himself.
Hello.
And as always, we are joined by our producer, Richard.
Hoy hoy.
Each week, we talk about the weird and wonderful world of DC comics and movies while fielding questions from listeners like you. While on the first
day of DocMas, the doctor gave to me some comic books from DC.
I'm so happy I don't have to read these anymore.
I told you we have to sing it together.
Well, I was... no, you didn't.
Yes, I did. That was the first thing I said.
I missed the together part. I was just waiting for Colin to do it. I didn't.
Oh, no, we're all doing it. No, we're all doing it.
Okay. In news, first image of Jason Momoa in Aquaman.
Yeah. They released this first still image. It's not him like in the Aquaman uniform. It's him in that like cool jeans look from Justice League.
There's a reason why they call him Aquaman, because I got wet as fuck.
He's very attractive. I like how you were being very like just true to your feelings, and I was being very diplomatic. It's like, he's quite attractive.
He's an attractive man.
Yeah, no, but
that's the news.
I think the big thing is like he just looks so metal. Like there's not even like the blonde in his hair like they did for Justice League. He's got that like Roman Reigns like.
You know what else is like metal? My crotch. That's how hard it
is. Sorry, what is?
My dick. My dick's like metal because it's so hard.
Oh, I thought you got
first of 12 episodes. Strap in.
A very small piece of metal.
I know. Strapped on.
Yeah, that's right.
We should address this. This is the first episode of the 12 episodes of DocMas.
Yep, we're recording these all in a row,
and we're drinking one rum-filled eggnog. One glass of rum.
Not rum-filled. It would be dead.
It's rumful.
It's rumful eggnog for each episode, unless we run out of either rum or eggnog. Then we're going to move to something else, but we are going to have one drink per episode. So, Oh my God.
So if you enjoyed this episode, you'll enjoy the 12th one, but you won't understand any of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you guys might want to hurry up, because I'm already done mine.
Jesus.
God. Well, we still have a whole episode to get through.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, anyway, so
Holy
yes.
Nikes. Dave White has a question on Facebook.
Oh,
let's do it.
Snap.
CBC celebrity Dave White says, best/worst sidekick. And what is a sidekick supposed to do anyways? Is Colin Close an effective sidekick?
Ooh, I like this question.
Mm-hmm.
Best worst sidekick. Ooh.
Be careful.
Or sorry, best/worst, not the best worst sidekick. I think the worst sidekicks, I mean, in my personal opinion, they're like, it's when they're like animals or when they don't have powers. And the one that somehow we've never talked about, there's one from like the first appearance of the Justice League. He's just this like non-powered beatnik called Snapper Carr. And he can snap really well. Like literally that's...
Oh, because he's a beatnik.
Oh,
yeah, okay,
I thought
yeah.
It was a fish.
He's Snapper Carr, and he serves zero purpose. I think he's got like a little bit of like... I think some fans kind of like him because he's like a throwback because he was the Justice League's like Jimmy Olsen, basically. He was their sidekick, but he's not good at anything. He's not like... I just like don't think he's interesting. He's basically... You don't see Snapper Carr too much anymore. Or maybe just in like little cameo appearances, but he's got to be the worst sidekick, especially when you consider like the Justice League is already like, this problem is too big for one hero. Get 7 of the best ones together. Why do they need a friggin' sidekick?
Instead they upgraded to Super Todd.
I would actually rank Super Todd above Snapper Carr.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get him out of here. Where's Snapper Carr?
Yeah.
But like, what's a sidekick supposed to do? I mean, the reason the Snapper Carr is irrelevant is because what reasonable help could he actually give the Justice League? It's 7 like of the most powerful heroes. But what a sidekick can do is like, if just for a single hero, is to, you know, be not only like an extra set of like helping hands to fight crime, but they can also, you know, like when Batman goes off the deep end, it's nice to have a Robin there to be like, Bruce. Like maybe this isn't a good idea, and he'll be like, "That's a great idea."
Stop punching! He's already dead.
Yeah, the crusty burglar.
He's already dead.
Yeah, exactly. Right. A sidekick can do that. The main purpose of a sidekick, I would argue, though, is to carry on the name. Right. Like when you get as a hero like too old or too dead or whatever to do the job, the sidekick takes up.
Did you just say too old or too dead?
I might have.
You know what? Not dead quite enough.
Yeah. He's not too dead.
Yeah, he's just right.
It's a dark Goldilocks. But yeah, so I would say like from like a story perspective, that's probably the biggest role that a sidekick does, is it means that like at some point they can take over as the Flash or as Aquaman.
Do you think that the intention is always that they will eventually take on the role?
No, because when some of those, like when Robin and some of those ones first came on the scene, it was literally like, how do we get kids more excited about these comic books? Well, let's have a kid character. It like that was like the window. That's where those like ideas.
Oh, you don't like kids? Here's a dog.
That's well, but this is why.
Oh, you girls? You girls like comics? Here's a girl.
Pretty much, though, right? Like, it's one of the reasons that those things haven't aged super well. Like the big like thing is like, why is Bruce like using child labor to like beat up thugs? Like, you shouldn't put an 11-year-old in a position to take out a monster.
Because he's an orphan. If he's gone, the next one you can just keep cycling him through. Don't act like he hasn't done that though. Right?
I was about to have a like snappy comeback to that. But it does kind of do that, yeah. Fair. Point taken.
Yeah, it's the Lay's chips of sidekicks. You can't just have one.
Point Richard.
Finish him. So here, you kind of sidetracked this question, who is the best worst character?
The
best worst
the
sidekick.
most enjoyable worst sidekick?
Yeah, besides Gnort.
That's tricky. The best worst sidekick,
and ST obviously.
Okay, it's got to be Topo the Octopus, because like, what's he gonna do?
Okay, but knowing Dave White, he means best and worst sidekick.
Yeah, so I already said who the worst one is. Yeah. The best sidekick is probably Wally West. He was the original Kid Flash, and then he became the Flash on his own. But he's a brilliant kid. Like, he's not
more than Grayson, eh?
Yeah, I mean, like, Grayson's great, and he's like a really amazing character. But like, Wally West was like, I know how the Flash got his powers, and as a kid, he recreated like the same like experiment and like got his powers. Like, he just figured that shit out.
He kicked his sidekick status to the side.
Nice.
That's nice.
I think it's got to be Wally West is the best one. I've said worst was Snapper Carr. The best worst is, I don't know, man. It's tough. I think it's Topo the Octopus, because he's like adorable, but like, it's an octopus. He's not going to be helpful. Certainly not out of the water.
And don't go in his garden.
I'd like to be. Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's the last part to this question. Is Colin Close an effective sidekick? Depends at what.
Yeah, no, if you're asking if he's a good sidekick, absolutely not.
Well, here, let's rephrase. What is Colin effective at? Derailing conversations.
Hating on Superman.
Hating Morrison.
Oh, yeah. Just hating in general.
Hating comic books.
Yeah.
Hating us.
Yeah. Hating us for our love of comics.
None of those sound like bad things. Let's get to my cons.
I think what makes Colin a good sidekick is his relative lack of comic book knowledge. That's kind of like the whole point of the whole thing, right?
And he's a pretty face to look at.
That doesn't hurt. Yeah.
It does my pants.
Jesus Christ.
I'm a real boner kick today. I don't know what it is.
On the first episode.
We can only go down from here.
It's like the first day of DocMas, more like it.
Ooh, changing the lyrics right now.
So we're going to go over to Twitter.
Let's do it.
Going to the Twitter, gonna hit her.
Nope, we're not going to do that. That's bad. We don't do that here at Dr. DC Podcast. Kyle Clark asks, who is a more underutilized character in the DCU? Mr. Miracle or Booster Gold?
Yeah, that's a good one.
They're very level playing field too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're both characters that kind of show up only if like a story necessitates it. So if a story has something to do with like Apocalypse and the New Gods, you can reasonably throw Mr. Miracle in. Or if it's got something to do with time travel, you can reasonably throw Booster Gold in, which is happening right now. I talked about it last week. Mm-hmm. And Mr. Miracle currently has his own miniseries going right now. So it's a funny time to ask that question, because they're both a little bit like in the consciousness again. Underutilized. I actually think it's Booster Gold. Mr. Miracle does tend to show up with maybe more relevance, possibly less often. But like when Mr. Miracle shows up, it's some sort of like big kind of cosmic clash or something like that. Booster, when you think of all of the stories that involve time travel or things like that, or just like the nature of heroism and that, all those things are meant to be like Booster Gold's kind of like bread and butter. And I don't feel like he shows up that much. And certainly like in the New 52, Booster's been like really like sidelined. He was in one short-lived series and then it looked like he got erased from existence. And then he showed up a bit in Convergence, but like the pre-Flashpoint Booster Gold ended up becoming Wave Rider. And then the new Booster Gold was just, we didn't see what happened to him. And now he's showing up again to chase Superman through time. I think it's Booster. I think he's less utilized. I mean, it's tough too. He's like a newer character, right?
But
Like,
I love the concept of that character. Like,
of like the time
Booster
traveling
Gold, but like he like this sort of rich kid who just wanted to like be a superhero.
Yeah, I mean, he's down on his luck when he decides to go back in time.
He fits everything you love.
What, money and power?
And how you would be if you could be a superhero.
That he's seeking like fame and
I like this.
and praise
Yeah.
and things like that. Booster Richard. Richard Gold.
Oh, I like that.
Richard Gold. That's a good name.
That's Dick Gold. Are you okay?
You sound like a porn director in the 70s.
Dick Gold. That's a porn director's name. Yeah.
But did I tell you?
Gold
did
Productions.
Did I tell everybody on mic what my detective name was going to be?
No.
Oh, yeah.
I would change my last name to Pictures.
Yeah. Dick
Oh, yeah.
Pictures.
Sorry.
Dick Pictures.
Yeah, I
damn
love that. I told that to somebody once. Actually.
Nice.
I was like, I work with this guy on this podcast.
You
He wants
said,
his name to be Dick Pictures.
yeah,
That's the end of my story.
yeah. Isn't it great?
And then I was
Where'd
like,
you go?
Never talk to that guy.
What I will say though is Booster Gold might be slightly better known, like maybe underutilized more, but better known. Mr. Miracle, unless you're like a real comic book kind of person, I think that one takes a little bit of digging.
Yeah.
'Cause he comes from like that different realm of like gods and things like that. He's a Jack Kirby creation, which is
You've got some affinity.
I do. I love Jack Kirby stuff, but especially that like Fourth World New Gods sort of stuff. I think it's really interesting. But he's the world's greatest escape artist. But can he escape death? That's kind of was like the tagline for his current miniseries.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was either about escaping life or death, but yeah. Either way.
Comes for us all.
It
It's a grim way to start this.
So, Phoenix Person asks, why DC over Marvel, Doc?
Oh.
All right, let's air the dirt. Marvel killed my family. No.
Marvel raped my mother and killed my father.
Jesus.
Dick, the question isn't
that's that
for
Family
you.
Guy
Yeah,
joke.
it is, yeah.
The Family Guy joke. Yeah. Yeah. Why DC over? Well,
Because they're all racist. I don't know. Not my fault.
Jesus.
Just start the smear campaign.
That's right. At Marvel. Well, I don't say very much. I know I've said like the types of comics that I got like from my dad's collection, but what I don't often mention is that in among those, I had like a stack of Invincible Iron Man and like Captain America and stuff like that.
Oh.
I did have like Marvel comics and like got them at about the same time as the DC ones. I think part of it is that I really took to like those animated series like Batman and Superman and stuff like that. Part of it is that as like an adult, I think DC feels more like mythology to me. Like the Marvel characters, to their credit, are like super grounded, like very kind of realistic for things with powers and crazy reality warping things. They're relatively like grounded, and it makes for really interesting storytelling. But I kind of like that idea of like, I like fantasy, right? Like I like Lord of the Rings and that. And like DC Comics feels closer to that for me, where they're almost like godlike. So that's my very like diplomatic answer. But like ultimately, it's just it's the thing that I've read more of, that I spent more time with. And as with other people who are looking to get into comics, I find it daunting, like the prospect of trying to get into these like Marvel storylines that have been going forever. Like I don't know the continuity. I don't know what's changed, or like I'm Colin in Marvel because
How dare you?
You say that though, but you've been able to like give me some information of somebody who like has some decent amount of Marvel knowledge.
Yeah, and I know literally nothing.
I mean, well, maybe a little bit, but like if you ask me to like explain what's happened to the X-Men in the last like 5 years, like I was pretty sure they got wiped out, but then there's like time displaced young ones of them, but I don't like it's really hard for me to navigate, but it's just because I haven't been following.
They became the XV men. Get it?
What?
No.
Roman numerals, jackass. X is 10.
Yeah, but XV doesn't come after X.
Oh,
it would be XI.
Whatever.
Fail.
You are a bit of a you are a bit of a Marvel.
I definitely am. I just actually I was in Vancouver. I know I was in Vancouver 2 days ago, and I bought
Washington or BC? Da-na-na-na-na-na.
BC. I was, and I went to the Golden Age collectibles store in Vancouver and picked up actually 2 Marvel comics. One because I am a diehard Jeff Loeb, Tim Sale fan.
Really?
So I picked up his Daredevil Yellow.
Yeah, that's supposed to be really good.
It's an amazing book, and I've heard that the Spider-Man Blue is supposed to be amazing too.
Call him Devil Yellow.
And they actually follow him apparently like through his like teen and college years and stuff, which typically you don't get with a lot of Spider-Man comics. So I'm really excited for that. And then I also picked up.
Spider-Man went to college.
Yeah, man.
He does like
he's real smart.
He does like grow up
smart. He's wicked smart.
Wicked smart.
Yeah, and then I picked up a Secret War, which is, Bendis.
Like the original one?
Yes. I think it's just a new cover. But, yeah, I mean, it's Bendis. And
because the original Secret War is where Spidey gets the black Venom suit, isn't it?
That's right.
Yeah.
So I'm very, very excited about reading those two. So we're not Marvel haters here.
Yeah. But did you come to that? Is that like what you grew up on? Is that why you're like a Marvel guy, or is it like stories, or like what is it about those?
So for me, I generally follow writers and artists. That's where I'll go. I mean, you can't beat Bendis. There's a reason why he's
at DC now.
That's right, DC. That's right. No. And so I'm always a Bendis fan for sure. I'm trying to improve my collection, and then I definitely want to get anything that Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale do.
Right.
I love Daredevil. I think it's a great character. I think it's been sort of...
He's like Marvel Batman.
Yeah, sort of. Well, I think Iron Man's kind of more, but...
Really?
Yeah. A guy with lots of money and uses
Daredevil's
technology.
dad was literally killed in an alley.
Yeah, okay, yes. But if you're talking about, like,
but if you're looking at, like, the personal lives or the superhero character. Because if it's the superhero character, Iron Man, Batman, 100%. Rich assholes...
Lots of money,
bravado,
hard to work as part of a team.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Not team players. But if you're looking at personal lives, then yeah, like their parents were.
All right. Okay. I'll give you that.
For sure. So, I
got your back, Dick. Got your back.
Yeah.
Oh.
Get out of there.
Hello.
I'm definitely always going to be a DC fan, and that's definitely like the first comic books I ever got were definitely Superman comics. Yeah. So I'm a huge fan from that point. But I mean, I love what Marvel's doing on TV for sure. So, and I mean, you can't beat Daredevil of that TV show.
It's a great TV show.
It's unreal, right? And so, and I really love the like Civil War, Secret War, all that stuff that they're doing with the Avengers. I think that stuff's really interesting, and I think they trotted a lot of new ground with that stuff that maybe DC hadn't yet. Yeah. But DC till you die,
right?
Right.
Ride or die, DC.
My fofo gonna make sure all your kids don't grow.
I have no idea what just happened.
Did you black out?
It's funny that you said that because
no.
It's a Tupac reference. So I legitimately did.
Jeez.
I meant like lost consciousness.
Whatever.
Anyways, Dr. DC will be back after this quick break.
This episode of the Dr. DC podcast is brought to you thanks to our sponsor, Great Lakes Grooming Company. Great Lakes sent us some products to sample and try out, and they are amazing. As you might know from my cartoon image, I have a beard. And so it's I got this really great beard balm. It comes in some different scents. I got the one that's called Your Love. It's very fresh. It's made from beeswax and lanolin. It protects my beard from harsh nature extremes, and I know I try not to give away our location, but we do live in a place with extreme natural weather. And I use that to like seal in all the goodness from the beard oil they also gave us. I with matching scent, the Your Love scent. I haven't gotten into clashing scents yet. But yeah, so I get out of the shower, I throw the beard oil in, wait a little bit, and then I put the balm in after it. And my beard is silky smooth and wonderful. Great Lakes Grooming is meant to be easy and ready to use. Rain or shine, all their products are purposefully designed and environmentally responsible. They're handmade in Canada and ready for adventure wherever one may find themselves. And for you lucky listeners, you can get 10% off on Great Lakes Grooming's regular price products by going to www.greatlakesgrooming.com and using the promo code DRDC Podcast. That's greatlakesgrooming.com, promo code DRDC Podcast. And now, back to the show.
All right, where are we going?
We're back.
God.
Hey, guys, we got a sponsor.
Yeah,
Isn't that crazy?
That's really weird and cool.
I mean, totally reasonable.
I mean,
we
yeah.
were expecting this.
from the thousands of fans that we have. I can hear them now.
That's just the fan from the back.
I was just gonna say, I'm like, let me just turn all those off.
So we got an email from
Check the
from
email.
a youngster.
Oh my god,
From
this terrifies me that somebody this young is listening to this podcast. I really hope that
Dashiell Rossi is 8 years old.
Oh, you poor kid.
Oh,
I really hope that your father made you ask a question and you don't actually listen
and you
to
haven't
this.
actually listened to the podcast.
Go to bed. I don't care what time it is.
It's noon.
It's 10:30 in the morning.
Was that you as the kid?
Can't do it.
Colin, you can. Do it.
No, I can't. Why is Aquaman your favorite character? And I think we have to stick PG on this one.
Yeah. Okay, let's...
Yeah, are we talking about why Jason Momoa is my favorite? Because that's it.
Let's stick... let's keep...
Oh my god, the beginning of this episode. Please don't listen to this episode.
Well, if you've managed to magically scrub your way to just this point to listen to it, then we'll keep it PG for this answer.
God
Okay.
damn it, what did we do?
Why is Aquaman my favorite character? I never watched that, like, Super Friends cartoon growing up, so I never saw him as, like, a joke. The way that...
You're lucky.
Right? Like, I kind of avoided it somehow.
Or you were shielded from it.
When I first saw Aquaman, he showed up in Superman the Animated Series, and he's like tough. He's like the leader of Atlantis, and he's like really like hard-boiled, and like he goes toe-to-toe with Superman in that episode. And then later when he shows up in the Justice League cartoon, it was like Hookhand Aquaman.
Which is pretty bad.
But that episode shows how... it shows him like struggling as like a world leader. It shows him as like a really strong superhero, but it shows him also as like a really like he's a determined character. In the comics, Aquaman like has to balance being partly human and partly from Atlantis. So he's got responsibilities in both worlds. He cares about both worlds, but both also kind of see him as an outsider. So he's like kind of constantly working to like earn his place in two places where he shouldn't have to. And I kind of admire that.
Sounds a little bit like you're growing up, being a nerd and then trying to be cool at the same time.
What do you mean I didn't succeed?
Yeah, no.
Maybe we'll post some photos.
Oh god, yeah. What the right
Cool doctor, yeah.
I don't know. I always really liked Aquaman. By the time I was like really reading comics, I found some really cool Aquaman stories. Like there's a story called Death of a Prince from the 70s, which is a really amazing like Black Manta Aquaman story. The Jeff Johns run in the New 52 is incredible. And I really love the 90s run where he had like that sort of gladiator look and the long hair and the hook hand, the Peter David 1990s run. So Dashiell, if you're listening, Aquaman is my favorite character because he's a king and he's also a teammate. He's balancing a lot of different things.
It's pretty cool.
That's where the podcast stopped.
Okay, Dashiell, go to bed. Chad Bokelman.
Bogle.
Drink.
Yeah, if you're playing the home game.
I hope you aren't. Oh, I guess these are coming out one day at a time. It's easier for everyone else than if we were doing
That's true. Unless you want to wait until December 25th
and then binge them, yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, don't spend time with your family. Just lock yourself in your room and listen to 12 episodes of
do you know who our fans are, right?
If you had your run of the DCU, which obscure characters would get their own series again? Some that pop to mind. Adam Strange, Blackhawks, Sergeant Rock, Metamorpho, Arian, Firebrand, please DC, The Question, Wildcat, etc.
I literally know Adam Strange.
I know the Blackhawks, Chicago.
Close.
And that's it.
Well, that was going to be my question, was if either of you guys like recognized any of those names at all.
Sergeant Dwayne Johnson, The Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and Metamorpho, but only because of reference in this podcast.
Sure, yeah. Okay, so yeah, Adam Strange was like he was like a sci-fi.
Yeah, he gets that Adam Strange.
He's like a sci-fi hero through like the 60s and 70s. Wears like that really like, you know, that old like Flash Gordon kind of like aesthetic. He has like a spacesuit kind of like that with like a ray gun.
I would love to see like a Green Lantern version of that. Like I mean, like in that style, art style.
Green Lantern done like that.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Again, well, we keep bringing up that Earth One. I mean, it's not going to be quite like that, but
no, it's gonna be more like Mass Effect, which I'm totally into.
Like Alien, basically. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so into that.
Yeah, Adam Strange is kind of a neat one. What I will say, so the Blackhawks and Sergeant Rock are like war era ones.
Sergeant The Rock, actually.
Colin made the joke.
I was already there.
You said Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, Sergeant Dwayne Johnson, The Rock.
Okay.
I said all of it. Just to keep all the bases covered so that you couldn't make the joke.
Guess what? I've got the power of the editing. I made the joke first. Boopity boo.
This is going to be like the Greedo shot first thing. It's going to be a really like abrupt cut.
Suddenly, yeah, and then like 50 years from now, the actual original cut will somehow come out.
Colin shot first. Hashtag Colin shot first.
Yeah, so Blackhawks and Sergeant Rock would be interesting to bring back because they were like soldier characters. Their stories were like war stories, which was like a big sort of subgenre for a long time and then kind of had less popularity once you got out of like the 60s, basically. Maybe blame Vietnam. Metamorpho had like a limited run relatively recently in an anthology series called Legends of Tomorrow. And that was kind of neat. And he's been like referenced in DC Metal. The Question is in a bit of like a limbo right now because in the New 52, the Question was usually just like a hard-boiled detective with a mask that made it look like he had no face. He's like the inspiration for Rorschach, basically.
I was just going to say.
Yeah. But in the New 52, they made him like magic-based, which was kind of confusing. And we kind of haven't seen the Question since that time. So he's a little bit in the air. There was a character called Vic Sage in the Suicide Squad series, but he wasn't the Question. He was doing his own thing. So I'd be interested to see like the original idea of the Question, but maybe the second Question was Renee Montoya. She was like a GCPD cop.
You killed my father. Prepare to...
Yeah, that's the one. I'd be interested in seeing that. I'd like to see Metamorpho, but as part of the Outsiders, which is Batman's like other super team that he starts. And it's Black Lightning, Metamorpho, Katana, Black Lightning, Geoforce, Halo.
And he always says, "Stay golden, pony boy."
I'd be interested in those two, but I'm going to add a character to this list, one that I would love to see a mini-series of. I don't think he's ever had his own series, but Bwana Beast.
Oh, you're a big fan of Bwana Beast.
I love Bwana Beast. He's just so ridiculous. But he's got a cool power. Like he can control animal life, but his main power is that he can fuse multiple animals together into like a chimera that has like the best abilities of each.
Didn't you say something? Oh no, was it Bwana Beast that you thought was coming to Arrow?
I thought he was coming to Legends of Tomorrow because they put a guy like in the Bwana Beast mask in one thing, but it was that circus episode. It was just what he was wearing. He wasn't Bwana Beast, and I was very disappointed. Very disappointed. But I would love to see like Bwana Beast or like Congarilla or like some of those like kind of crazier ones from back then. I'd love like a 4-issue series of them. Yeah.
Awesome. I think we did it.
Episode 1's in the bag.
Drink.
All right.
Well, if you want to throw us some compliments, I guess.
Oh,
or
yeah.
questions or whatever you thought about the episode, you can hit us up on Facebook at,
Dr. DC Podcast.
on Twitter at
Dr. DC.
on our Instagram at,
Dr. DC Podcast.
via email at,
Dr. DC Podcast
On
at
our-
gmail.com.
Oh, on our website.
DrDCPodcast.com or .ca.
Also, make sure go to everywhere that you get our podcast from. I think there's a way to rate us basically in all of those. iTunes definitely helps us. We want to see if we can get in that new and noteworthy section. That'd be great. And so by giving us a 5-star review, and you can write some nice or even some mean things about us. We really don't care. We just really need that 5-star review.
I care a little bit, but Richard's desperation is interesting to watch. So send something mean.
I've got kids to feed. And you can also leave a What Colin Does. These next 12 episodes are going to be different than usual. But after that, and in the new year, we're going to keep doing those What Colin Does. And if you guys send them in, we'll make him read whatever you write for him. So make sure that you do that and listen to the episode tomorrow. Because for the next 12 days.
Yeah. Every day. This is your like daily Dr. DC.
Exactly. Your daily dose of the doc.
Miss.
Oh,
Nailed it.
Nail it.
you guys okay?
Perfectly fine.
I'm okay if you're okay.
I'm okay if you're okay.
I'm okay if you're okay.
We're all okay.
We're all okay. Well, some kind of sign off.
Adios.
One a man.
But what a man, what a man, what a man, what a mighty good man.
I'm mighty good now.
I hate you guys so much.
Aquaman, all the superheroes. They always fight for what is right. Live with danger and adventure.